As we bring our awareness back to the moment, getting ready for this wonderful gift you've given yourself today. Don't forget to breathe. Let's bend the knees, touch the bottoms of your feet together. So when you touch the bottoms of your feet together, there's only one way to do that. And let's do a few pelvic tilts. Your back is already arched. Inhale, arch the back even further away from the back. Exhale, lower back down. So the butt stays down. Good. So get into a nice rhythm here for a moment. Inhale, nice arch. Breath comes in deep and effortless. Exhale, try to flatten it back down on the mat. So we'll compound this one with a little stretch as well, right? So when you're ready, let's interlace the fingers, pointer fingers pointing, and bring the arms over the top of your head, right? All the way up. As you inhale and arch the back, stretch the hands away from the head. So we're doing a compound movement, stretching and arching at the same time. Good stuff here as you begin to irrigate, nourish, oxygenate that spinal area. It's not often. Most of America won't arch the back and stretch it at the same time. So that uniqueness brings back the resiliency and the youthfulness of the spine. And let's do about maybe 4 or 5 more deep inhales, expanding on the inhale. And then contracting, flattening back out. So nothing is done on the exhale. And one more works for me is fine. One more deep attempt. And then you can release, bring the arms out like wings. Just traditional moving spinal twist. So place the feet on the mat, hip width. Exhale, lower both knees to either side of the mat. Inhale, bring the knees to center. Exhale, lower the knees to the other side. And of course, the head moves in the opposite direction. The knees are dropping. And of course, check in with the breath. Exhale deeply as you release down. Head moves in the opposite direction. Inhale deeply as you come to center. Exhale the other side. Right, oxygenating that thyroid gland, parathyroid gland of the throat, which regulates your metabolism. So my last class this morning, Deborah mentioned the slow movements in yoga, keeping your awareness sharp. She prefers to fast moving, where you may lose your way. And we read that article to you from AARP, November of 2013. Slow movements, they had mentioned as well. Let's do about 4 more moving spinal twists. Good. And we'll move into arch pose whenever you're ready. So arch pose, inhale, lift the butt. Exhale, lower the butt. And find a rhythm here. Do 2 or 3, right? Figure out where you want your feet. Whatever's most comfortable for you. Inhale, butt comes up. Exhale, butt releases. And when you feel like you are comfortable with that, we'll bring the arms in, right? Inhale, butt comes up. Both arms come up with the butt. Exhale, butt releases. Both arms come back down. So just starting out today, pretty traditional. Nothing too out of the box. But that, of course, will change as we have some unique movements planned for you today. Let's do about 5 more arch pose with moving arms. So good to have Danny back in class. Good to see Sarah again. Sarah's been globe-trotting around the place, around the globe. Let's do 2 more. And 1 more works for me. When you finish that last one, straighten your left leg out on the mat and hugging your right knee. Just hugging the knee, breathing your descending colon on the right side of your stomach. Just diaphragm massaging abdominal organs. And then lift your head and shoulders up off the mat. Move your forehead toward the knee. Rotate that right foot 5 or 6 times in one direction. Check in with the breath. And then rotate that right foot 5 or 6 times in the other direction. And since your hands are so close to that right foot, reach forward and grab a hold of that right foot on either side and bring it on up to the heavens. Try to hold on, if you can, with both hands for at least 5 breaths so we can stretch out and strengthen the fingers, the grip, the wrists, the forearms. And you can bring awareness to that area as you breathe into it for a moment or two. We'll work the fingers a little today and the toes. Carol's favorite part of the practice is working the toes. And if you need to, you can release down, but try to grab on at least high up as you can on the leg so you can still continue to work the grip. And you can tick-tock that leg a little bit side to side and pulling it toward you. Give me a couple more breaths here. When you're ready, release down. Bend that right leg, if you can see me, and place it on the left knee. And then come up to your forearms, right ankle on the left knee, and bend that left leg. So now the ankle's on the knee. Make sure it's going to stay reasonably secure there, and then come up to your hands. So we'll stretch out a little modified pigeon here with a different orientation. This alone, you should start feeling that hip. Anybody not feel the hip? Okay, breathing here. And my foot is flexed, so the ankle is fused. Okay? Try to keep, and then move where you need to, where you can breathe into that hip. So I get to do this 5 times today. Today's my long day, 5 classes. So we're going to also work on those back of the arms, right, as we need to be strong as we get older. And see if you can lift your butt up off the mat a couple inches. And then move to where you need to, where you still can feel that hip. And breathe for a few more breaths as we hold ourselves up, strengthening the bones and the muscles as well. And hold up for 3. Too easy? Too easy? 2? Really? Up. And release back down. Straighten the left leg. And now you can release back down and straighten both legs. All the way down. Hug in the left knee with both hands. Take a moment there as you rest. Just hug that left knee. And when you're ready, I think you've rested enough. Lift your head and shoulders up off the mat. Move the forehead toward the knee. Rotate that left ankle 5 or 6 times in one direction. And then rotate it 5 or 6 times in the other direction. Good. Since your hands are so close to that left foot, reach forward with both hands. Grab a hold of that left foot on each side and bring that delightful foot up to the heavens. Breath comes in here, right? And you know there's a time limit, right? In other words, this is your time to stretch the leg. Awareness can go into the back of the leg maybe this time, as you can tick-tock it side to side and pull it towards your head. And if you would like to, I don't have a problem with you releasing down, but try to grab up reasonably high so you can continue to strengthen the grip. And give me about 3 or 4 more deep breaths. Good. When you're ready, you can go ahead and release down, but bend that left leg, set that left ankle on the right knee, and then you can come up to forearms, bend the right knee. So now you've got a nice foundation, right? Kind of figure out where you want to be here, and when you're ready, come up to your hands. Breath comes in, especially here, as that awareness goes into the hip. So if you remember, usually we'll do modified pigeon this way, right? This is just a different way of bringing openness to the hip. But also we can compound it like I like to do, strengthening the arms, right? The guns. You don't want to say guns in a yoga class, especially after that discussion we had prior to class. Let's lift the butt up off the mat. I remember once I mentioned, fight for your flexibility. Fight for your flexibility. A woman came up to me after class and said, you can use a different word. So now I say, work hard for your flexibility, right? Anybody not feel their hip? This is kind of neat, huh? It's not every day that you do this sort of thing. Are you smiling over there? And then go ahead, go ahead and release down. Now, take a moment, straighten the legs, release the head. Bring the arms out like wings. Take a few moments to rest. This will be our last one in the sequence. A little strengthener and a little twist. Bring both legs straight up to the heavens. As high up as you can get them is fine. When you're ready, try not to crash them down. See if you can lower both legs over to the right side of the mat. They're high and they're straight. When you get them down, turn your head to the left. Let the breath come in. Let that exhale help relax that lower back. Feels good. When you're ready, that's about 5 breaths. Legs come back up. Try to work hard for that strength. And try not to crash them. Bring them over to the left side of the mat. When you get them over there, turn your head to the right. The breath comes in. So if you can, you're going to lay those feet all the way down. So then you can focus on the breathing and the releasing. If your feet are in the air, you've got too much stress going on. Let's bring the legs back up to center. Lower them over to the right side. Try not to crash them down. When you get them there, turn your head to the left. So they're going to go to the right, Sarah. And let that exhale. And that's about 5 breaths. So when you're ready, bring them on up. And lower them over to the left. You're working too hard.
That's okay.
You need it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, then you go for it. When you get them to the left, turn the head to the right. This will be your last 5 to 7 breaths in this sequence. Paul's going for the burn, which is fine with me. I'm not a dictator. Well done. Whenever you're ready, you can begin to release the center, hug in the knees, bring that spine back to equanimity. So I haven't seen Sage in a while. I don't know if you guys remember Julie. She was going to buy some t-shirts from me, but I had to sell hers because I hadn't seen her now in over a month. Let's release, take a break, do nothing. We'll transition to table pose here in a few moments.
Give them a call. Their numbers to us if they're available. We can give them a call, say, hey,
You know, I thought about that a long time ago, and my intuition tells me if they want to come to class, to come to class. But as a business owner, if you advertise consistently, the class numbers usually stay reasonably consistent. This 10,000 mailer I just sent out, as they finish up in the this week or next, so I'm not too concerned about it. You can begin to visualize finding table pose, and whenever you're ready, let's work our way that way. You can face toward me. We'll work Carol's toes. Right, Carol? This is Carol right here. Carol Lucas. So you're in table pose. Today, we'll bring the knees together, touching. Curl the toes, right? And then figure out how you're going to flare the heels out so you can get some weight on those little pinky toes that need more adoration, right? And then on your hands, turn to the outside, one hand maybe where the fingertips are facing the knees. And let's rock front to back a little bit. Breathing here. Now we're into the breathing. We have our pose, bringing awareness to the wrist of that turned hand and the toes. We don't work much. Fingers and wrists and forearms, toes. Now stop. Let's do a few cat-cows. Exhale, round the back and chin the chest. Inhale, arch the back. Push the belly to the mat. Look straight ahead or up. Exhale, round the back, chin the chest, cat back. Inhale, arch the back. Push the belly to the mat or look straight ahead or up. Cow back. Let's do 2 more cats and 2 more cows. Good. Very nice. And as I was doing this, I kind of liked it. My body's open. In some ways I was thinking, as you open the hands and toes, the whole body begins to open up and relax, and the energy flowing nicely. I think we're down to our last one. Are we finished? Now you can uncurl the toes and come back to table pose. Walk the hands a hand length and a half forward. Lock the arms, lock the arms, lock the arms. Release the groin down. The cobra. Today's cobra is not a slouching one. See my shoulders. Today we're going to lift out. You saw what I did, lifting up in the shoulders, not here. And then drop the groin. A little bit more back bend. 3, 2. Now look up to the heavens for 3, 2. And then release. Keep the elbows close to the side and release. Lower yourself down. Stack your hands and just take a moment. Place your chin on the hands. Take a break. So we have to strengthen the 70 sets of muscles that go up and down the spine. We're not going to overdo it today. I like to say you'll tickle them today. We'll just work with them a little bit. When you're ready, walk your feet off the mat so the legs are wide. Arms out like wings. Arms out like wings. Everything comes up off the mat now. Head, shoulders, arms, elbows, legs and knees. Navel pose or 5-pointed star navel pose. Breath comes in, face is soft. Right? Just ride on the breath. I'm not trying to wear anybody out, so I need 3, 2, and then stack your hands, place your chin down. Take a moment. You could, if your awareness is sharp, feel the tension release from that lower back. When you're ready, bring your hands under your shoulders, push yourself back to table pose. Now watch what I'm going to do though. Today, the hands are far out front. You're going to sit back, but don't let the butt touch the heels. Find a place where you're able to stretch the shoulders for a while. This is going to be our relaxation, our transition back to table. kind of a child's pose. Your elbows should be off the mat, so you'll sit back now, and that's good. That's fine. Feel the stretch in the shoulders, good. And just perfect. Everybody's fine. Just breathe. And this is just different from what we're used to. And of course, that's my MO, right? My modus operandus. Always a lot of variety. That's good for me. Let's do the other side. Back in the table pose. Knees touch together, right? Feet walk out and flare the heels. Curl the toes. Flare the heels. Let's get some affection to the little toes, right? So heels flare out. And then flip the other hand. Turn it to the outside where the fingers point back toward the knee, right? Get a good place the other side. When you're ready, cat-cow. Exhale, round the back, chin to chest. If you really breathe and try to feel what's happening here, you could kind of experience what I did. You feel the fingers, feel the wrists, feel the toes. Put some awareness and weight into them as you feel the body begin to open up, and just allow this to happen. It might be a little uncomfortable, but the body says, okay. Let's do 2 more cats and 2 more cows. Good. Is that 2 and 2? When you finish your 2 and 2, you can uncurl the toes. You can bring that hand back to front. I think we have enough strength to walk the hands a hand length and a half forward. Lock the arms, release the groin to cobra. Now don't just let the shoulders sag. Lift out of the shoulders. And that's your position there. And then let the groin drop. Breathing here. Good. And now look up to the heavens. Let that head lay back. And then slowly keep the elbows tight to the trunk. Release down. Stack the hands. Place the chin. Take a moment to release the tension here. And we'll do a 5-pointed star navel pose. When you're ready, spread your feet off of the mat, nice and wide with the legs, arms out like wings. Everything comes up. Last time, head, shoulders, elbows, knees, feet. And the breath comes in. Fly me to the moon. Release when you're ready. Let's bring the hands under the chin. I had a whole room in Vail doing that. I wanted to take a picture. I might have one on Facebook. It doesn't matter. Let's stretch the shoulders. When you're ready, bring the hands under the shoulders. Push yourself back. But don't go to child's pose, right? Hands are way out in front. As you sit back toward your heels, find a place where you're stretching the shoulders. The elbows are off the mat, good. And do not rest the butt on the heels, good. Good. Give me a few more breaths. Great job. Now push back to child's pose. Take a break. Okay, great job. So we're going to move back in a moment. You can visualize table pose. You'll need your block for this. I'm going to face the other way so the camera can get my foot. And we'll resume. When you're ready, come back up to table pose. Bring your block near your hands. You may or may not need it. We'll see how your balance is going. And I know this is going to be Carol's favorite part. She loves working the toes. So once again, find table pose. Am I picking on you? Walk both hands to the right. Keep on walking both hands to the right. Move them near your right knee. Look over your right shoulder. See if you can see both feet. Okay? Look over. If you can see both feet, you're at the right spot. But if you can't, you might have to move the hands a little bit more, right? Adjusting. Or just find a nice lateral bend. You don't necessarily have to see the feet, but just find a nice lateral bend. As you breathe, looking over the shoulder, how many feet can you see?
I can see both of them.
Okay, good. So now we've established a lateral bend. Leave the feet as anchors and see if you can, with your right hand, grab that closest ankle. And then pull yourself another inch into a lateral bend so the foot stays on the mat. And just kind of pull a little bit further, right? Use the ankle as an anchor and just pull a little more and give me a couple more breaths, right? That's all we're doing. Just expanding on the stretch. Looks good to me. Let's walk back to center. And then keep going to the left. Keep on walking to the left. Find a place. Establish your lateral bend, right? Usually we don't breathe deeply while we're moving. Now that you're in your lateral bend, the breath comes in, you're establishing, you're letting the spine know, okay, this is what I want you to do. Good. And when you're ready, leave the feet as anchors, reach back with the closest hand, grab the closest ankle, and see if you can get another inch or so in a little more of a lateral bend, and then the breath continues. Good. Good. And then walk back to center when you're ready. But we're not going to take a break. See if you can step your right foot up to the hands. So from table, right foot steps up. And then find a place where the ankle's under the knee and come up to kneeling. From here we'll find prayer arms. So you're going to have to turn to your right and bring that back of the left arm on the outside of the right leg. Forearms in line with each other, and see if you can exhale your way to a nice twist. Each time you exhale, you're twisting the back, maybe getting that chin looking straight up to the heavens. So forearms are in line with each other. And see if you can get the back of that arm here. There it is. Now look at me. Good. Now as you exhale, you're just taking your time. You're pushing the arm into the leg and you're trying to twist. Good. And just give me 2 more breaths. Good. 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 And when you're ready, you can begin to release out. And then step that right foot back to table pose. Get your block nearby. Now, see if you can draw. Notice I'm on the top of my feet. See if you can draw the right knee up toward the right elbow. And then you may or may not need the block, and find your way up here. Now I'm on the top of my foot. Okay? And you'll need your block, but you may not need it to get to here. From here, I don't care which hand the block's in, but you're on the top of the foot. You're trying to get good weight there. See if you can find a little modified cobra. You can bring the block in either hand. Right? And you're putting weight on the foot. We're working the toes. That's 5 breaths. I'm going to watch you, Danny, because I don't see you on the top of the foot. If you can switch the block to the other hand, bring it back near the back foot. Again, lay back and give me a little modified cobra on the other side. So I'd like to work the fingers. I'd like to work the toes. And this is no different. Might as well compound it, right, with a little back bend, too. Good. There you go. And when you're ready, release the child's pose. Yeah, work the foot, get a little back bend, sprinkle in a little balance. You can begin to visualize the other side. Give me about 10 more breaths. When you're ready, begin to come up to table pose. Step your left foot up to the hands. When you get the left foot, the ankle under the knee, come up to kneeling. Remember, prayer arms, the forearms in line with each other. When you're ready, turn to your left. See if you can get the outside of the right arm. There you go. And now, once you get set, breath comes in. As you exhale, push that arm into the leg. Try to get the chin looking up. Each time you exhale, you're twisting the back, right? Good. Very nice. And give me 2 more breaths. Good. One more exhale. Give me a little more twist. This one's a little challenging, but it's just good practice. Balance as well. Release back down when you're ready. And if you remember from last time, step that left foot back momentarily and drag the knee up with the left foot toward the elbow of the left hand, and then walk yourself up maybe to balance, right? If you're able. And then the block can come into your hand, and you can find that modified cobra, right? And not only do you have a back bend, you're working on balance, and then you also get the bonus of opening up the toes. That foot is flipped. Yeah, now drag it forward, the knee. There you go. Put some weight. There you go. After 5 breaths, you're on your own. You know the drill. You'll switch hands. And then do the other side with enthusiasm. And also, one of those can't wait to finish this sequence faces. Good. Got enough weight on the toes?
Yeah.
Lucille says. When you finish your 5 on both sides, push back to child's pose. Okay, nice job. So we're going to make our way up to standing, but we'll do it eventually with a little bit of bear walk and crescent pose. So take about 5 more breaths. You can visualize a downward dog. And when you're ready, let's come up to table pose. So, bear walk. Okay? You walk the hands about a hand length and a half, curl the toes. This is your test. You're only going to be on the hands and toes, but you'll inhale upward dog, exhale downward dog. Then inhale upward dog, exhale downward dog. And that's bear walk. Let's do a few of those. So a little strengthener, nothing wrong with strengthening the bones. Make sure you match the breath with the movement. And I'm not trying to wear anybody out. Keep the arms locked. That's fine. Sarah, that's fine. Just do a few more. And there's no reason why as we get older we should get weaker. Jonathan and I go to the gym 3 times a week in addition to my yoga and my teaching. Never give up, right? Let's do 1 more. Matter of fact, that's good. Stay in downward dog. Lucille's going for the record. Let's step your right foot up to the hands. If you can't get it there, reach back with the right hand and pull it up. So now you're in lunge. Show me lunge. 1 hand on either side of that right foot. Back ankle is up. Both toes are in line with each other. From here, see if you can make it to crescent pose come up to here. That ankle doesn't set down in the back. And see if you can't, boom, find crescent pose. So we build a little strength in the legs, right? Nothing wrong with that. Both hands down on either side of that right foot. See if you can step it back to downward dog. And I'm not trying to wear you out. It's not my yoga. Shouldn't be anybody's yoga, really. Step the left foot up to the hands. If you can't get it there, reach back with the left hand. Pull it on up there. Show me your lunge. That ankle is up in the back. Good. When you're ready, come to standing. And make your way to crescent pose. Good, Paul. Check that ankle, Danny. Bend that left knee, Nance. See if you can get that ankle in the back. Up. Both hands down to the mat on either side of the front foot. Step the back foot to the front foot, forward fold. Back foot to the front foot. Leave the fingertips by the toes as you take a moment to rest and also stretch out the back of the legs. Very nice, right? Some of you were a little challenged by crescent just a short time ago. In yoga, we were reading to you from this book, Real Men Do Yoga. And they're talking about these athletes feel like they get functional strength, not weightlifting strength through yoga. Strength that you can really apply in your day-to-day. Let's come up to standing. And if I could find that passage, I would, but we'll leave it for another yoga off the mat. Bikram, 110-degree heated yoga class. How many of you have been to a Bikram class? Raise your hand. I've been to one. Nancy?
No, she's not here.
Oh, Holly.
No, she gets very warm.
Oh, Creo. Creo gets warm. She's good in here. She's with the Bikram.
I don't get warm very often. Should be a little puddle.
I've been to one that was all I need to go to. But our last balance pose on Monday was hand to toe. We lifted, we grabbed the two fingers, and we brought the leg here, right? Today, we're going to do Bikram's version of it, where you're going to try to get both hands on the same foot. And you're going to try to get the leg out here. And you're going to try to touch the nose to the knee. Wow, first time I did it. Yeah! When you're ready, have fun. Now, are you making a face? Now, if you'd like to, you can try the strap. But you may surprise yourself first. Just see if you can go and do what I just did. It's not overwhelming. Okay, so give it a shot first. And remember, you're balancing probably on a harder surface. Once you get it out in front, you can see if you can drop the head. Good, very nice. Play. You have about 1:15. Have fun. Yeah, don't hurt yourself. Looks good to me, Sarah. Now see if you can get that nose toward the knee. You're a natural. So it's not as bad as it looks, is it? Except the other side for me is, my right side is my weak. Keep going, you've got about a minute. "45 seconds. Make sure you're breathing.
I can do this a lot easier than I can do.
Yeah. Well, Bikram's got 26 poses, the same 26, right? The same sequence. 30 seconds, maybe 20 seconds.
Very good.
This is my
All the way down.
hard side. Of course, the bottom leg needs to be straight, and that takes a little doing. But not bad, huh? Kind of fun. You think watching it, I can't do that, right? You can begin to come back to your mat. Okay, so we'll do a couple more standing. We've got about 10 minutes, and then we'll wind down with a seated. Okay, we'll stay with Bikram, his intense leg stretch. I don't care which foot you put out front, left or right, makes no difference. Your front foot usually is in line with the long part of the mat. Back foot usually in line with the short part. Intense leg stretch. Rotate shoulders, trunk toward that front leg. Legs stay straight. Prayer hands go on the front thigh. And as you exhale, those prayer hands release down toward the foot. For me, when the hands get below the knee, the head releases. When the breath comes in, as you exhale, the hands can trickle down a little bit at a time until maybe you make the hands all the way to the toes or the mat. Good. There's no hurry here. So I like to work the back of the legs late in the week. Today's Thursday, so that you're sore all weekend and you have something to remember me by, right? As you're gingerly walking. Oh, that's from yoga class. That's right. You can come back up when you're ready. Okay, so the front foot now you can rotate back to center and the back other foot the other way. Oftentimes when I rotate, the feet aren't perfect. You may have to adjust again, right, to where you feel comfortable, where you feel like your balance is still there. And then rotate shoulders toward that front leg, find prayer hands, and trickle down. Remember, both legs stay straight. For me, usually, when I get near the knee, the breath starts. And then I'm able to let the breath guide me down. Remember, both legs are straight. Good. Good. And give me 2 more breaths. Begin to release when you're ready. And then stay where you are. Stay where you are. So we're not going to do today the full version of wide angle. So Paul, rotate that right foot. We're not going to do the full version of wide angle. Usually it's your hips, hands to hips, then it's umbrella arms, and then it's hands here or here. And the last one usually, depending on what type of yoga, are the fingers and the big toes. This is the one we're going to do. You're going to have a narrow enough stance so you can get the fingers and the big toes. And then walk the feet out, trying to get far enough where you can touch your head to the mat, right? Just like this. Whenever you're ready, have fun. Just take your time. You don't have to touch your head to the mat. But we're practicing, right? We're practicing stretching out the shoulders, stretching the body, just letting it go. Exploring too, right? Don't not be so cautious. Just play a little bit. Make sure you're breathing. This is the last standing pose of the day. So just play around. You'd be surprised, nice Lucille, how wide your arms can get, Carol. Don't hurt yourself. Yeah, Paul, see, you'd be surprised. No, you don't have to. It takes a lot of training too to get the head down and opening, but still, we're moving your body to a new position. Give me 3 or 4 more deep breaths. You can begin releasing back out. There you go. Right? It's not every day, is it? And that's what I like. Let's walk the feet to mountain pose. A little forward bend and needs a counter pose. So just a small back bend, hands to hips. Push the groin forward, lay the head back. Just a little breathing here. Open the heart. And give me 3 more breaths. And just as gently as a feather, let us all sit down together. So we'll wind down our practice. And let's find a stick pose or staff pose. As the legs straighten and the toes spread. This probably might not be a typical staff pose with the toes, but I like to work the toes. Sit up tall, hands on the thighs. And take a moment here, establishing a nice postural habit. Breath comes back in. Keep the toes spread. Let's interlace the fingers, pointer fingers. Leave the head looking straight ahead. Give me a couple of 3 inhales, 2, as you try to lift out. Now unspread the toes. Take either hand near the hip and exhale to a lateral bend. You're just wandering here down. We're not trying to overdo anything. We're winding down. So take about 4 breaths. Just wandering around a little bit on that side, and then switch it up, right? Let the breath guide you. There's no reason to overdo anything right now. Just a little lateral bend this way. Releasing back out. Bend your right leg. Bend your right leg. Bring one hand on either side of the right foot and bring it all up. Breath comes in here. As you try to lift out of the waist, you're trying to straighten the legs. It takes a little strength to lift out, right? We just stretch, though, quite nicely, so you might be happy to see that you're a little longer in that area. Now, bend the knee and release. I'm going to set that foot, though, on the other side of that left leg. Full Lord of the Fishes. Bend the left leg to the right. Bend the left leg to the right and find your sit bones. Now today we're going to try to bring your left arm to the outside of that right leg. And then the right hand behind you. Inhale, sit up tall. Left arm, Nancy. Exhale, twist to your right. Next exhale, twist a little more to the right. Let the exhale. This one is a lot more depth of twist than just hugging the leg. And of course that diaphragm, if you're breathing, massaging liver, kidneys, and spleen. Release back out. That one is nice. We haven't done that in a while, if at all, have we? Straightening the legs. Bend the left leg. Bring one hand on either side of that left foot. Bring it on up. Stretching here. Breathing here. exploring here, lifting out. Keeping that awareness for the last few minutes of the practice. And your body will thank you for it. Bend that left knee and set it on the other side of the right leg. Bend your right leg to the left. Adjust the sit bones where you feel most comfortable, because you know you're bringing that right arm on the inside of that left leg. Left hand behind you on the mat. Inhale, sit up tall. Right arm, Paul.
I know, I'm working on it.
Exhale, twist to the left. Next, exhale, twist a little more to the left. Then hug it. Then hug it, Nancy. Hug it, Paul. Okay. Holding here as we strengthen your respiratory system. The lungs are twisted. You're breathing deep, making them larger, stronger. Give me 2 more breaths. Releasing back out. Oh, too bad we have to come out of that one. Straighten the legs. Or come up, bring them out. I want them bent. Bend them enough where you can bring the arms on the inside of the legs, grabbing the outside of the feet. Yeah, that's close enough. Walk the heels forward. This is a adventure too. There's no hurry. I let my breath take me to different places here, and I stop and breathe as I'm trying to get, of course, the legs straight. Once you get the legs straight, before you drop the head, you can point the toes, get a little length. And if it works for you, work your way down where the head gets down to the knees. The breath comes in. Stay with me here. We've got about 3 minutes, maybe a little less. Very nice. And from time to time, you could point the toes, push them away from you. And stretch that upper body, right? Stretch that spine. Good. And give me about 4 more deep breaths. Great job today, everyone. We've got 1 more to go. Releasing out when you're ready. So Eastern stretch is normally done with the feet together. The reverse table is done with the feet wide. We're going to do a wide-footed Eastern stretch. So bring the feet about this wide, hands behind the back, fingers pointing away. Last pose of the day. Lift the butt up off the mat. Lay the head back. Bring in the breath. You may, if your awareness is sharp enough, after 2 or 3 breaths, feel the release in that lower back. And give me 2 more breaths. And begin releasing down. And finding the most important pose in 5,000 years of yoga, your final resting pose. However, I would love to see a few arch poses, maybe 5 or 6 as you inhale the butt up, counterposing that forward fold. Maybe after you feel comfortable there, hugging in the knees, bringing your spine back to equanimity, and then find the most important pose in all of yoga. As you bring your awareness back to the moment, awakening to the new you, take whatever time needed, stretch out any way that works best for your body. Eventually, carefully mindfully make your way to a comfortable seated position. That's stretching. Let's bring our hands together to the heart center. Terrific effort. Thank you for sharing that with me today and with each other. Today's close is from the Tao Te Ching, Chinese philosophy. You can get wisdom from anywhere in the world. The path of peace is forever honorable. May the rest of your day be purposeful. Namaste.